In this one, elite bowling coach Ian Pont talks through tent peg 4 in his framework for fast bowling, the follow through. Let's go.
Tent peg 4, hard to do this statically, but tent peg 4 is a release. It's a follow through. What we're going to do with the bowling hand is we're going to try and come down and go past our shin with the bowling hand here. As we do that, we're going to imagine in front of us there's a lever, and as we pull the lever, it activates this knee because we're going to drive the knee out. And when we complete the action, this bowling hand is going to the top and touch the sky. So in this position here, I'm going to come towards the camera, and then we finish in a straight line. You'll notice that I finished in my own railway track. What I didn't do is I didn't step across the stumps, or I didn't start peeling away. I did everything to target. So those are the 4 tent pegs, and what links them together is another acronym called RSSA, which stands for range, speed, sequence, separation, and alignment. Okay? Range is the distance you move the cricket ball. Speed is how fast you're moving, not the ball. How fast can you go between these lines? If you're kind of going in slow motion, the ball's not going to come out quickly. If you're going through this crease quickly like that, the ball's got a chance of coming out fast. Sequence. Are you working from the floor upwards, or are you just bowling with your shoulders and arms? You'll see bowlers when they warm up in a game, they'll just do this. They're never using the bottom half. We don't even warm up properly in games sometimes. Club cricket's great. Club cricket's great. You see a club bowler come and go, whoa, whoa. All he's doing is swinging his arms around. It's like the rest of his body doesn't exist. And this is the problem we have as fast bowlers. We've been ingrained to believe you can't teach any of this, and it all comes from how fast your arm comes over. Not so much. It's not just that. Ultimately it is, but that's not where the speed comes from. The other thing is separation, where the hips come forward and the shoulder gets delayed. That movement between the hips being pushed forward and the shoulder being delayed, that is called shoulder-hip separation. What we don't want is we don't want them to move together like this. We want them to move away from each other to create the stretch. And one of the biggest indicators of speed is shoulder and hip separation. I always identify a fast bowler when I look at them to see whether they have shoulder hip sep. Have they got the hips forward and the shoulder back delayed? That looks quite slingy. Hey, that's a great way to bowl. Arm pull, delayed arm, hips forward. That's a great position to be in. It's almost like a javelin throw. We're not throwing a javelin, of course, but it's that kind of shape. So we've got a braced front leg, drop step, hips here, shoulder back, that creates separation. That's one of the 3 ways of creating speed. Shoulder hip separation. Second way of creating speed, if I was just standing here and did this and let a ball go, it would go down the other end. So how fast I rotate my shoulders, how fast I bring my arm over is another way of creating speed. If I can bring that in whilst I'm doing this, we create 2 of the things that accelerate a cricket ball. The third way to increase speed is to increase your ground speed and block it. Now, when I explain this, we have to decelerate the base to accelerate the top. What that means is as we come in, we hit the block and the top gets catapulted forward. We don't want to be ahead of our legs. If we get ahead of our hips or our legs, the speed isn't going to be there. The ground speed is gone. The ground speed has to come first, the block has to come first, then the top gets catapulted forward. So that big stretch at the top and contraction. It's a sequence of muscle stretch and contraction. Everybody that's watching this in the human body is made up of muscles that stretch and contract. Muscles can only pull, they can't push. The only part of the body that can push is the tongue. The rest of you, and you don't bowl with your tongue, the rest of your body just stretches and you pull the cricket ball. You need to think of pulling the cricket ball towards a batsman, and we're working in straight lines. So we have RSSA, range, speed, sequence, separation, alignment. On one side we have the 4 tent pegs, which is the structure on the other. The 4 tent pegs doesn't make you bowl fast, it's the framework which you hang your own flesh on.
If you did get great value from that video, please do smash that like button for me and subscribe to the channel too if you haven't already. Be sure to also check out that full video I did with Ian. Just tap or click the end screen. Also a link below for all your coaching needs to get in touch with him directly, and I'll see you in the next one.